Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome to 6 tips to navigate body changes and playing the oboe. So, some oboe players, through health challenges or circumstances, find that their body is not working the same way as it always has, and they wonder if maybe they should give up playing. And I wanted to talk about some things to think about when considering this decision. I don't think it's necessarily the case. Um, in my 25-year career, I've had lots of things happen to my body that affected my playing, and I wanted to walk you through some of the strategies I used to navigate those various scenarios. So, so it may not be that you have to stop playing. I think that there are some other things to consider. So my name is Erin Brophy. I am the principal oboe of the Saskatoon Symphony and a sessional lecturer at the University of Saskatchewan. The reason I'm doing these live presentations has a lot to do with my beginning part of my journey on the oboe. I'm from a remote part of Canada, a place that is beautiful, and it was an idyllic place to grow up until I started the oboe. And that's when I realized that I lived really remotely. I did not have access to really good information. I didn't have access to reeds, and I didn't have access to a functioning instrument. And for that reason, I really struggled. And I've met many oboe players now in my career that have had the exact same scenario, that did not have any of those three very important things. And probably the fourth is a community of like-minded oboe players around them. In the absence of that, in the absence of good information, not living in a large metropolis or having a really good teacher, there were times when I really almost gave up on the instrument. And now that I help other people on their journeys, I reflect that my experience didn't have to be that tough. It didn't have to be that challenging. And with access to a community, with access to good information, your experience on the instrument can be so much more enjoyable. And so that's why I'm doing these live presentations, is I don't want you to have to suffer the way that I did. The oboe, playing the oboe can be so joyful. And I hope that you find this information useful. It's also why I created a program called the Oboe Path. The Oboe Path uses a group online masterclass, a personalized, customized plan, and laser one-on-one feedback to allow an oboist to play with joy and ease. Through the group online masterclass, an oboe player joins a community of like-minded oboists that are full of collective wisdom. It helps with accountability. It helps with inspiration to practice. With the personalized, customized plan, playing and improving on the oboe can fit into an oboist's busy life. And with the laser one-on-one feedback, an oboe player goes to their practice sessions knowing exactly what they need to do. And so they see the results immediately. It is so powerful to watch someone go down the oboe path. I love it. Okay, so let's get to it. 6 tips to navigate body changes and playing the oboe. So I want to start with a caveat, which is that I'm not a medical professional. I mean, I guess that is obvious, but I just want to say that I am not a medical professional. If you are having some health challenges, please go and figure those things out. If you're having playing pain, please seek information from a medical professional, your doctor. There are tons of different kinds of modalities and therapies to help you. I have made use of many, many, many tools to help myself play the oboe without pain. And it is something that is totally possible, even if you're in the state of pain currently. So I would encourage you to start that path. It's taking that first step, which will lead you to the next one, which will lead you to the next one. Don't lose faith. You will find a way to approach the instrument without pain. You just need a little bit of help along the way. So I'm not a medical professional, and I am going to talk about some of the things that happened to me and my body changes and how I've approached it with the instrument. And I hope that you find it useful. If I don't cover what has happened to you, my hope is that your takeaway is that to encourage you to have hope, that you can keep playing, that there is a way for you to navigate this challenge. Because, um, playing the oboe can be a lifelong pursuit. And I have met many oboe players who've been told that they couldn't play for whatever reason. And then, fast forward 10, 15 years, discover they could actually play, and they missed that gap. They had a gap in being able to play the instrument. And I think that that is just so sad. So I would encourage you, not to lose faith. It can feel really disorienting if something is happening in your body. If you're ill, you're fighting a disease, or you have playing pain, it can feel very disorienting in terms of how you approach the instrument, because it feels very different. And I just want to acknowledge that that is part of the experience. You're not alone in feeling that way. And that's the place that I would encourage you to get curious. So what is it specifically? Can you break down, if we're thinking breath, hands, face, what is the pain? What is the new challenge? And sort of identify in those three areas, what is going on. That will help you figure out how you're going to play the instrument. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you about was the breath. I personally, for my body, I had a point in my pregnancy where the baby that was inside me was sitting right on my diaphragm, or at least it felt like she was sitting on my diaphragm. And I had a really hard time. Also, I was dealing with some blood pressure issues, and it felt like I just didn't have access to the amount of air that I was accustomed to having in order to produce my sound. But I was still playing in my orchestra, and I was still teaching. And so I just had to find a way to make it work. And what I did is I made my reads easier. I tried not to sacrifice the quality of my sound, but I just made my reads easier to play. So if you're a reed maker, I would encourage you, find a way to make that tip a little thinner, so that you can get the vibration starting, so you don't have as much resistance if you're having some issues with the amount of air that you're able to take into your body. If you are not a reed maker, then I would suggest talking to your reed maker and explaining what's happening, and ask them if they can send you easier reeds, reeds that are easier to blow on. And that may help you navigate that time. Now, for me, it wasn't permanent because it was attached to pregnancy, and so when I had the baby, I felt well, it took me a little while, but I did go back to the feeling of resistance that I wanted to. But if that had been a lifelong thing, I think I just would have continued to have played on easier reeds. So, and that would have allowed me to continue to play. One of the things I wanted to talk about was hand. I had a question from someone in the Oboe Hub about how to deal with a new numbness in their finger. And so I want to talk about numbness first, and then I'm going to talk about hand pain. So that actually, again, during my pregnancy, I lost all feeling in my left hand. So I couldn't feel any part of my left hand. I think that's actually quite common in pregnancy. It was in my 7th month that happened. I continued to play for the next 6 weeks. What I found actually was really surprising is when I didn't have the feeling of touch, and I just was, moving my fingers the way that I imagined. I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just playing the instrument how I knew to play without the sensation of touch. What I found is actually my technique was better because I didn't have that touch sensation. I don't know. And gosh, I wish I could unpack why that was. But my hand could move faster. And that was such a delightful surprise. So I don't think that numbness it will inhibit you from being able to play the instrument. You don't actually need to touch. And if it's something that you're feeling insecure about, I would encourage you to play in front of a mirror to see that your fingers are moving the way that you're used to. And that just may give you the confidence that things are working as you want them to. The next thing I want to talk about is hand pain. That is something I've also experienced. I mean, I've had finger pain, thumb pain, wrist pain, elbow pain, shoulder pain, you name it. Got pain on this side. And I've had 2 bouts in my performing career of profound injury, where then that's how the pain manifested itself. I found that, I used a lot of modalities. For me, fascia work with massage and a lot of physiotherapy helped the pain go away. With the help of and advice of my physiotherapist, I continued to play, but in a modified way in terms of the amount of time I was playing. I did a lot of mental practice during that period of my life. But I will say that having navigated that time of hand pain really helped me approach the instrument in a much more relaxed manner. So in the end, I think it was a gift. But I think the thing with hand pain is to stop when it hurts. That's your body telling you that you need to rest. Don't play through the pain. And also use it as a way to maybe approach how you're coming to the instrument. Looking at a thumb rest change, looking at an adjustable thumb rest, it's something will help you play the oboe. It's not like now you have hand pain and you have to stop. It's just a matter of figuring out how you're going to continue. The 6th thing I wanted to talk about is embouchure. Embouchure woes can feel very disorienting. I'm thinking of some numbness in your face, and numbness that is not associated with movement. Like if you can't feel it, but it's still moving well, that's one thing. There's also, I know a lot of oboe players that deal with focal dystonia. There is hope. Lots of new research is being done on focal dystonia that you can continue to play. And it's a matter of working with your new neural pathways. And in terms of embouchure woes, it may be, again, like your hand pain, an opportunity for you to take a look at your embouchure and how it's functioning, and maybe making some alterations. I think that with embouchure woes, it can feel very disorienting. It can feel very disorienting because it's not sitting where it doesn't feel the same way as it did. And that can be a difficulty because we make our own, if you're a reed maker and you make your own reeds. But I would suggest trusting in that situation, trusting your ears, and allow your ears to tell you what you need to do to that reed so that your embouchure, whatever setup you are able to produce, can get that out of the reed. I mean, that is the great thing about the oboe, is that because we can have this skill, whether it be you as a reed maker or asking your reed maker to adjust your reeds to accommodate whatever is going on here. That's one of the strengths of our instruments in many ways. I think too I've helped many oboists who have gotten braces during their playing, it's totally possible to play the oboe with braces. Like, awesome. I think too, it may make your embouchure better because you're having to scoop around those braces, and then when you take the braces off, you have a lot more geography in terms of the strength of your embouchure. So it can be actually a really wonderful thing. So that may be one of the changes that you're experiencing. If focal dystonia, if that's something that you think might be a possibility, I would suggest reaching out to focal dystonia resources. There's lots of neurologists that are working on the problem. So that's something to look into. And I think with embouchure challenges, not losing hope and faith that it's going to be okay. I have met oboe players that had to have all of their teeth removed because of an illness. But we're able to come back to playing, with the amazing healthcare system, healthcare, what we can do now in healthcare in terms of replacing teeth and recreating what was there before. There's lots of things that we can do with the embouchure. The embouchure is very flexible, perhaps more so than the other limbs. So I think that if the embouchure is something that is really is your challenge, then do not lose hope. There is possibility. It may be just altering how you're approaching the instrument. If you've lost functionality in some way, whether it be that part of your face doesn't move or you have some sort of an illness, I don't think that that's an oboe death sentence either. It's just a matter of working with that and figuring out what you can do and using that to your best ability. So I would encourage you to continue to play the oboe. Speaking of playing the oboe, so I am actually on a playing break. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but the last couple of videos I haven't played. That's because I'm on my annual playing vacation, which I do for my mental health, but also my physical health. And next week, no, on the 13th of July, I am going back to playing, and I invite you to something called the Oboe Boot Camp. And I invite you to get back in shape on the oboe with me. So I'm going to walk you through how I get back in shape on the instrument in preparation of my performance season. And let's all do it together. The registration to attend that boot camp is below this video. I hope to see you there. Let's all become the oboe players that everyone wants to play with, the oboe players we were meant to be. Play the oboe with joy and ease. I'll see you next time. Take care.